People often imagine royal life as perfect from the outside. The cameras, the ceremonies, the smiles, the carefully planned appearances. But behind palace walls, there are moments that reportedly hit far more personally than the public ever realizes. And according to growing royal discussion online, one recent situation involving Prince George may have deeply upset both Prince William and Catherine. Not because of royal protocol, not because of politics, but because it involved their son. Over the years, William and Catherine have worked harder than almost any modern royal couple to protect their children from overwhelming public pressure. From the very beginning, they reportedly agreed on one important thing: George, Charlotte, and Louis should experience as normal a childhood as possible, despite growing up inside one of the most watched families in the world. That balance has never been easy. Every appearance Prince George makes instantly becomes global news. Every facial expression gets analyzed. Every small moment spreads across social media within minutes. And while many royal fans enjoy seeing George at public events, there's also been increasing debate about how much attention a young royal child should receive, especially now that George is getting older. Recently, discussions surrounding the future role of Prince George reportedly became far more intense online and across several media platforms. Commentators, royal watchers, and social media users began speculating heavily about his future responsibilities, his schooling, and even the pressure of one day becoming king. For many people, it was harmless discussion, but others felt the attention became too personal. Some online conversations reportedly crossed a line from public interest into unfair scrutiny, something William and Catherine have allegedly worried about for years. Because unlike adult royals, George is still a child learning how to grow up under extraordinary attention, and sources close to royal reporting have often claimed that William, especially, is determined not to repeat certain painful patterns from the past. He understands better than almost anyone what it feels like to grow up constantly watched by cameras, to have private moments become headlines, to feel pressure before even understanding what that pressure means. That experience is believed to shape many of the parenting decisions William and Catherine make today. In recent years, the couple has carefully limited George's public appearances, choosing specific events instead of constant exposure. Whether it's royal celebrations, sporting events, or official ceremonies, their approach often appears deliberate and controlled, and many royal experts believe that decision is intentional. They reportedly want George to understand duty, but not lose his childhood in the process. That is why recent public reactions and speculation may have reportedly frustrated the couple so much. Because from their perspective, there's a major difference between public curiosity and placing overwhelming expectations on a young boy. Royal commentators have also noted that Catherine has become increasingly protective whenever conversations about the children become too aggressive online. Over the years, she has repeatedly emphasized the importance of mental well-being, stability, and giving children room to develop naturally. And according to long-standing royal coverage, both she and William are said to take these concerns extremely seriously behind the scenes. What makes the situation even more sensitive is the unique position George holds within the monarchy. He is not simply another royal child. One day, he is expected to become king. That reality creates enormous attention before he is even old enough to fully understand it. Every future decision, school, hobbies, friendships, appearances, becomes part of public discussion. And while royal families have always lived with attention, today's social media era has changed everything. Moments spread faster, opinions become louder, and young public figures face pressure earlier than ever before. Some royal observers believe William and Catherine are trying to modernize how the next generation experiences royal life. Instead of forcing constant formality at a very young age, they appear focused on giving George confidence gradually over time. Small appearances, carefully managed exposure, moments where he can slowly grow comfortable in public life without being overwhelmed by it. That strategy has actually earned praise from many royal supporters, who believe the couple is learning from the difficulties previous generations faced. But at the same time, intense public curiosity surrounding George continues growing every year. And with that attention comes challenges no ordinary child would ever face. Even something as simple as attending a football match, walking into an event, or reacting naturally in public can instantly become headline material worldwide. That level of attention would be difficult for almost anyone, especially for someone still growing up. Several royal commentators have pointed out that William appears especially sensitive whenever media pressure involves his children. Many believe this comes from his own experiences during childhood and the constant global attention surrounding his late mother, Princess Diana. Those memories reportedly shaped how he approaches fatherhood today, not with distance, but with protection. And Catherine is often described as equally focused on creating stability around the children despite royal responsibilities. Together, they appear determined to build a different environment for George than previous generations may have experienced. Whether that goal is fully possible inside modern royal life remains uncertain, because the reality is simple. Prince George will likely remain one of the most watched young figures in the world for years to come, and every step he takes toward adulthood will continue attracting enormous public attention. Still, many royal supporters believe William and Catherine's reaction shows something important. Behind the titles, behind the ceremonies, and behind the future expectations of the monarchy, they are still parents first. Parents try to protect their son while preparing him for a future unlike anything most people could imagine. And perhaps that is why situations like this reportedly affect them so deeply. Because for William and Catherine, this is not just about headlines. It is about George growing up under a spotlight that never truly turns off. And perhaps the most difficult part for William and Catherine is knowing that the pressure surrounding George will only become more intense with time. Right now, he is still seen by many people as a young royal child smiling beside his parents during public appearances. But slowly, that image is beginning to change. The world is starting to look at George not only as a child, but as the future of the monarchy itself. And that shift brings a completely different level of attention. Royal experts have often said that once a young royal reaches a certain age, public expectations begin accelerating rapidly. People start analyzing personality, confidence, behavior, leadership qualities, even small moments that would normally mean nothing for an ordinary teenager. For George, those expectations are already beginning earlier than many expected. That is reportedly one reason William and Catherine have become extremely careful about how often he appears in major royal events. They seem determined to introduce responsibility gradually instead of pushing him too fast into the spotlight. Because once that spotlight fully arrives, there may be no stepping away from it again. And insiders have repeatedly claimed that William understands this reality better than most people around him. He knows what public pressure can do to a young person. He knows what it feels like to grow up while millions of strangers think they know you. And according to many royal watchers, he has spent years trying to ensure George experiences a more balanced childhood than previous royal heirs. That reportedly includes limiting media exposure, protecting private family time, and allowing the children to enjoy ordinary moments whenever possible. Simple things, school activities, family outings, sporting events, moment away from royal headlines. But in today's world, even those private moments rarely stay private for long. Social media has transformed public attention into something constant, something impossible to fully escape. Photos circulate instantly. Reactions explode within minutes. Narratives form before facts are even understood. And for young royals, that environment can become overwhelming very quickly. Some royal commentators believe William and Catherine are increasingly frustrated by how easily speculation surrounding George spreads online. Stories about his future, his personality, and his royal role often gain momentum long before there is any official information at all. That creates an atmosphere where a child becomes the center of global conversation without choosing it. And many supporters of the couple argue that this is exactly what concerns them most, because George did not ask to be born into this position. He simply inherited it. Yet from the moment he entered the world, expectations were already placed upon him. Future king, future leader, future symbol of the monarchy. Those are enormous labels for anyone to carry, especially at such a young age. And despite the glamour people associate with royal life, there's also undeniable pressure attached to that future. Pressure to behave perfectly, pressure to remain composed, pressure to represent tradition while adapting to a changing modern world. William and Catherine reportedly understand all of that very clearly, which may explain why they appear so protective whenever public attention surrounding George becomes too aggressive or invasive, because in many ways, they are trying to do something difficult, prepare him for destiny, without allowing that destiny to completely consume his childhood first. And that balancing act may become one of the defining challenges of their lives as parents, especially as the monarchy itself continues evolving under public scrutiny. There are already debates about what the future royal family should look like. Some people want more tradition, others want modernization, and somewhere in the middle of all those conversations stands George, a child who may one day inherit responsibilities larger than himself. That reality alone explains why every public appearance attracts so much attention now. Even brief moments can become symbolic. The way he interacts with William, the way Catherine speaks to him during events, the confidence he shows walking into ceremonies. People analyze everything, and while some see harmless curiosity, others believe it places unfair pressure on someone still growing up. That is why recent reactions reportedly struck such a nerve with William and Catherine. Because for them, this is likely not just another media cycle. It is part of a much larger concern about how George's future is unfolding in public view, a future that the entire world seems eager to discuss before he has even had the chance to define himself. And perhaps that is the emotional reality behind all of this. William and Catherine know they cannot completely shield George forever. One day, he will have to step fully into royal duty. One day, he will carry expectations that very few people on earth could truly understand. But until that moment arrives, they reportedly want him to have what little normality he still can, because childhood, once lost, can never truly be returned. And maybe that is the part many people forget when royal stories become headlines. Behind every future title, behind every royal expectation, and behind every public appearance, there is still a real family trying to navigate a life unlike any other. For Prince William and Catherine, the situation surrounding George reportedly was never just about media attention alone. It was about something far deeper, the growing realization that their eldest son is slowly entering a phase of life where the world will watch almost everything he does, a phase William himself knows all too well. And perhaps that is why reports of their frustration resonated with so many royal followers around the world, because people are beginning to see the challenge facing the next generation of royals in a completely different way, not as fairy tale figures living perfect lives, but as parents and children carrying enormous expectations under constant public attention. Over the years, William and Catherine have carefully built an image of calmness, stability, and modern parenting inside royal life. They rarely respond publicly to rumors or online discussion, but many observers believe their actions often speak louder than words. The way they protect family privacy, the way they limit the children's exposure, the way they appear focused on giving George confidence, gradually rather than forcing him into spotlight too quickly. All of it seems intentional, because they understand something very important. The future of the monarchy may matter enormously, but so does the emotional well-being of the child expected to carry that future one day. And that balance may become harder with every passing year. As George grows older, the attention will only intensify. Public curiosity will become stronger. Expectations will become heavier. And every appearance will continue generating headlines across the world within minutes. That is simply the reality of being born into one of the most famous families